Cebu, a 22-year-old man has been charged in court here with trespassing, outraging the modesty of a woman, and causing injury. No plea was recorded on Wednesday, June 8th, from Daniel Sugay of Rumah Sugay, Sungai Song, who faces charges under Section 411, 354 and 326 of the Penal Code. Subordinate Court Cebu Assistant Registrar Rome Ahmad Zaidi released him on bail of Rm 3,000 with 2 local sureties each for the first 2 charges and Rm 5,000 bail with 2 sureties for the third charge. He also ordered the accused to be present for further mention for the first 2 charges on June 21st at the Kopit Magistrates Court and June 27th at the Sessions Court there. In the first charge under Section 442 of the Penal Code, Daniel was accused of trespassing into the quarters of a 31-year-old woman at SK Nanga Celibat, Song, at about 2:15 p.m. on May 27th. The section provides for a jail term of up to 3 years or a fine of up to Rm 5,000, or both if convicted. He faces a jail term of up to 10 years or a fine as well as whipping if found guilty. On the second charge, he was accused of outraging the modesty of the woman at the same time and place. The court was also told that the accused voluntarily caused hurt to the woman by using a knife and she suffered severe pain at the same place and time. The offence under Section 326 of the Penal Code carries an imprisonment term of up to 20 years, a fine or whipping upon conviction.
Next, we move to the next part, which is the argument. Based on this case, there are 3 arguments that related to tort law in Malaysia. First, trespass. Trespass is a tort that occurs when an individual enters someone else's property without permission. In this case, Daniel Sugay is accused of trespassing into the quarters of 31-year-old woman at SK Naga Selibut. If he is found guilty for trespassing under Section 442 of the Penal Code, Daniel may face a jail term of up to 3 years, a fine of up to 5,000 ringgit Malaysia or both. The human may pursue a civil claim for trespass, seeking damages for any harm caused such as emotional distress or property damage resulting from the trespass. Second is about the outraging the modesty of a human. In this case, Daniel Sugay is charged with outraging the modesty of a human, which is an offence under Section 354 of the Penal Code. Outraging the modesty of a person involves using criminal force with the intent to insult or offence their modesty. If Daniel is convicted, he may face imprisonment for up to 10 years, a fine and whipping. From a civil law perspective, the human may have a claim for assault and battery as outraging modesty involves the use of criminal force. She can seek compensation for any physical or emotional harm suffered as a result. The third argument that can be found in this case is about causing injury. Daniel Sugay is accused of voluntarily causing hurt to the human using a knife, resulting in severe pain. This offence falls under Section 326 of the Penal Code. If Daniel is found guilty of causing injury, he may face imprisonment for up to 20 years, a fine or whipping. In terms of a tort law, the human may have a claim for personal injury against Daniel. She can seek damages for the physical and emotional harm inflicted upon her due to the attack, including medical expenses, pain and suffering, and loss of income if applicable. It is important to note that the criminal charge and civil claim are separate legal proceedings. The criminal charges are brought by the state to determine Daniel's guilt and impose criminal penalties if he is convicted. On the other hand, the civil claims are initiated by the human to seek compensation for the harm caused to her as a result of Daniel's action. The civil court will assess the evidence presented and determine liability based on the balance of probabilities rather than the higher standard of proof required in criminal cases, which is beyond a reasonable doubt. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Next, we move to the possible defenses. So, do you guys think that there might be possible defenses for the accused in response to the actions brought against him? So, let's see together. After we analyzed this case, we found that there might be 2 possible defenses that can be used by the accused. For the first defenses that can be used as regard to the consent, So consent here equals as a defense when the plaintiff gives his willingness to accept that what would otherwise amount to a tort to be committed upon him or either his property. So consent here is applicable to all intentional tort. A lack of consent is what renders the act wrongful. Therefore, in this case, if the accused can prove that the woman is consented to the accused's actions, this could be a defense to the charge of trespassing and outraging modesty. Besides, insanity and mental incapacity also can be used in this case as a defense by the accused. So when this defense is raised in a case involving trespass to a person, it would typically imply that the accused did not have the necessary mental state or to intentionally or knowingly commit the trespass. So the mental incapacity may have impaired their ability to comprehend the boundaries of personal space, recognize the rights of others, or understand the legal consequences of their actions. So to successfully exert an insanity or mental incapacity defense, the accused generally needs to provide evidence to support their claim. This evidence can include medical or psychiatric evaluation, testimony from a mental health professional, or other relevant documentation. The specific requirement for establishing an insanity defense can vary by jurisdictions. So if the defense of insanity or mental incapacity is accepted by the court, it can potentially lead to a finding of not guilty by reasons of insanity or a similar outcome. In such cases, the accused may be subject to alternative legal procedure, such as mental health evaluation, treatment, or commitment to a psychiatric facility rather than traditional criminal penalties. So in this case, the accused might use this defense and claim that he was not sound of mind at the times of the offence, and he lacked the mental incapacity to understand the nature and consequence of their actions to differentiate right from wrong by providing the medical evidence. So for the next one, I will pass to the next presenter.
So next, we are moving on to the decided cases in this issue. We took case Collins and Wilcock 1984. It is about a woman was being questioned by a police officer regarding her alleged involvement in prostitution. The woman made the decision to leave, but the police officer had no choice but to stop her and did so by grabbing her arm and preventing her from leaving. The policeman lacked the authority to hold the woman in accordance with the Street Offences Act 1959, Chapter 57. The policeman was scratched during the woman's struggle with him. She was accused of attacking a police officer while he was performing his duty. The issue here was given that the police officer had no legal right to confine the woman. The question in this case was whether the conviction for attacking a police officer was valid. The court held that it was determined that the police officer was acting outside of his authority because, in that case, he was unable to arrest the woman and, as a result, was not performing his official duties. Therefore, there was no discussion about harming a police officer while he was performing his duties. Further, it was argued that the police officer's grabbing, which occurred when he lacked the authority to initiate an arrest, constitute an illegal attack, which is a battery. So that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. So moving on to the next part, which is what is the possible outcome in our scenario. So in our scenario, we are in the opinion that the accused might be guilty for the reason that he is the one who touched the woman first, in which outraging her modesty and caused injury to the victim can be considered as a trespass to persons under Section 441 of the Penal Code. Section 441 has stated that criminal trespass occurs when a person enters or remains on a property without the owner's consent, intending to commit an offence or cause annoyance, intimidations, or insult to the property possessor. For example, in the articles of trespass to persons, human rights and ethically contaminated foods, freedom of belief and bodily autonomy, also stated that even a kiss can be considered as a trespass to persons or a battery if it is not consented by the recipients. in this case, we can see that the law cannot distinguish between different levels of violence. So, it forbids all the physical contact with another person if it is not consented. Besides, by applying the case of Collins and Wilcox, as discussed previously, the act that even the police officer cannot touch another person without any legal authority, as it can be as illegal attack or trespass to persons. Henceforth, from our discussions, we deem that the accused may be charged for trespass to persons in accordance of Section 441, and for the punishments has been stated in the Section 447 of the Penal Code, which states that whoever commits criminal trespass shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 3,000 ringgit or both. So in conclusions, we deem that the accused might be guilty under Section 441 of the criminal trespass and the punishments under Section 447. That's all from me. Thank you.